everyone to the episode of the Definitive Crusade. My name is Johnny Machine Hughes, and as always, I am joined by some cool people. None cooler than the Halloween queen herself, Freyja.
Hey guys!
How's it going?
It's going good. It's going good.
Excellent. Yeah, and of course, it wouldn't be the night without the night. It's Matthew.
I am the vengeance. I am the darkness. No, I'm just kidding. It's me. Hello. As you notice, I have some beautiful artwork up instead of my camera because my camera's not working today. It's great. I'm not stressed about it at all.
Somehow I sense I can smell your frustration from here, my friend.
Just a little. Just a tad.
Just a tad. All right, and of course, making a welcome return, it is, of course, the 13th Crusader.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
How are you doing? You all right?
Who, me? Talking to me?
Yeah. I'm talking to you.
I'm doing all right.
All right. So, 4 books. A range of books. I have no idea why some of these books are being put together.
All I've got to say is
Fun time. Hey, fun times.
I'm out. Let me just get involved in this. See if we can get another beer coming up. Where is it? Move that out of the way. Hi. Could I have 7 more beers, please?
I can't wait to see the response.
texting Mrs. Hughes to bring you up.
I most certainly am. That's exactly what I'm doing. How well you know me.
Mrs. Hughes face reveal?
You'll be like an arm coming from down here. It's fine. All right, so whilst I'm waiting for my beer, we'll get started on the first book, which will drive me to more beer, I'm sure. It is this book from a couple of weeks ago. It's Freyja's choice. I have no idea why. So this is Superman versus Meshi number 6.
Yep.
Written by Satoshi Miyawa and art by Kei Chicago.
Kitago and Miyagawa.
Did I do it right there? I think I did it right.
Satoshi Miyagawa and Kai Kitago.
Oh, there you go, see?
Yeah.
Said that right. So, a couple of weeks ago, I mentioned Superman and me. And you proper bit my head off and said, don't talk to me about that. As you did. And then you picked this. What's going on? Make your mind up, woman. Jesus Christ.
No.
Are you still sick, Freyja?
No, well, maybe.
Is your costume too tight? Is your belt tied a little too tight or something? I don't know. What's going on?
Yeah, well, you
It's the
know,
mask.
full latex kind of is frustrating at times.
I will say right now, I don't have a problem with that at all.
Really? Nope. I'm not going to say that. I was going to make a quote from another YouTube video, but it's mildly inappropriate, so I'm not going to.
Oh, okay.
Considering we talk about fishnets like every other second, I'm sure it would be
Right.
All right. Ooh, fishnets and latex.
Ooh. Johnny, back on subject.
Whilst I go and think about that, Freyja's going to tell you about this book. Freyja, take it away.
Okay, so I chose this because it's absolutely ridiculous, and I did that on purpose. So it's kind of manga style, so you have to read it from right to left, going from top to bottom, of course. And so if you're not reading it that way, you're not going to have any idea what's going on. Basically, this whole series is just Superman going to Japan to eat food. That's literally all this is. And so this episode, he's at a sushi conveyor belt restaurant, which are absolutely awesome. And yes, the sushi he ordered is a real thing. The corn mayo is a real sushi that you can order. I find it absolutely disgusting, but you know, to each their own, I guess. So anyway, he's there to eat. He runs into Aquaman, who's talking to his sushi. Also, this is my favorite type of sushi. It's nigiri sushi, where they put the meat on top of the rice, because I hate the taste of seaweed. This is the only type of sushi I like. Anywho, so they just have a little conversation. Aquaman's talking to the yellowtail that's dead, and then he proceeds to eat it because, I mean, what else is he going to eat? He lives in the sea. You know, other fish eat fish. And then they kind of insult the what freaking Superman's eating. It's just essentially just like, we're gonna talk about food. It has no real plot or reason. It's
hamburger sushi is a thing.
Yeah,
It is.
it is. Yes.
This is like when I take my kids to the Chinese restaurant and you have like chicken nuggets and fries. It's like,
That's exactly what this is. He goes to a sushi restaurant and says, Ma Kent's cooking is the only thing I'll eat, and orders this.
Well, there's this whole like freaking Aquaman, like the Yellowtail goes through and calls it fake sushi frauds, because it's essentially they're making fun of it. They're like, yeah, this is like sushi that's created for Westerners. You know, it's just like gimmick sushi, but it does taste good. Also, I don't know if they're talking about like tomato ketchup, like real ketchup, or like Japanese ketchup, which are two completely different things. And also Japanese mayo is slightly different. It's sweet, but yeah, it's just them talking about food. And I chose it because it was absolutely ridiculous and completely different than what we're usually watching or reading with the doom and gloom all the time. So like, let's do something stupid. And it is the manga-esqueness of it I actually quite like, because I read a lot of manga. So I did enjoy that. I like the cleanness of it. Like, it's very clean art-wise. It's very basic though at the same time. So I like it. Everything's kind of bubbly. So yeah, I liked it. It's ridiculous. Don't expect anything deep. They're just talking about food. That's what all it is.
Okay. Matthew, holy wagon.
Jeez.
You clapped your hands together and your mic did not like that.
Holy Wagamama. You know you have Wagamama over there, right?
No.
Really? Oh, Wagamama over here in the UK is like a massive sushi chain. And you go in, you sit in the restaurant. It's exactly like this comic book. Just got the stuff comes around on a conveyor like that. And then you get like a little tab, like a coloured tab. And the tab tells you how much each item is.
Okay.
So like a red item's this and a blue item's that and whatever and so on. So you keep a note of the tabs and then you go and pay by the tab. So
interesting. The only sushi restaurants I have around where I live are the ones where it's the fine dining. You go in and sit down and you order and they bring the food to you, and it's typical.
Okay.
Or you have a place like Makoto's where they make everything in front of you. It's more of a hibachi restaurant than anything.
You guys don't have like a sushi burrito over there either?
Over here? No. I would love sushi burritos.
No, well, it's just sushi, but it's uncut, so it's in the stick, so you just hold it.
Yeah.
You don't have those?
I've never heard of it, but I mean,
yeah, no, it's just they make the sushi, but instead of cutting it the roll, they just leave it in a big roll. That just sounds like what my depression would make me eat if I tried to make my own sushi. I finally roll it all up, and I'm like, I don't want to cut all this. I'll just eat it all. Just eat it like that.
Yeah.
Half-ass it. Probably where it's from, honestly.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
But as far as the manga, I mean the comic book is. I have to agree, the artwork is pretty clean. It's very pleasing on the eyes. But it's absolutely ridiculous. You just scroll past the page where like Aquaman is like, oh, let's get more sushi, and uses this trident to like stab at and grab more plates. It's just ridiculous. Also, when did necromancy become part of Aquaman's power set? Because he's talking to dead fish.
When he became a Black Lantern, that's when.
Sounds fishy to me, definitely.
Probably after eating one of these plates.
But yeah, it's just about food, and it's ridiculous. It's a nice palate cleanser because kind of like.
How can we apply it? We haven't done anything yet. How can we clean the palate yet?
I'm a winner, Johnny. I win.
From what we normally do, we have a lot of like dark and gloomy stuff that we discuss because DC is known for their dark and gloomy.
Thank you.
Even one of the books that we're going to be discussing later is primarily dark and gloomy. So it's two of them, yeah. So it's interesting. It's interesting to look at something light compared to what we normally do. I did not enjoy it because I was expecting like product placement at some point.
I didn't enjoy it because nobody has a California roll, and I'm very sorry about that. They're my favorite ones.
Well, they're not in California, Johnny.
We're in Japan. Don't insult sushi like that.
Oh, because obviously you're calling it hamburger sushi is not an insult. Yeah, right.
I know.
Yeah, whatever. Eating it with a fork is not an insult.
Hey, you can eat sushi with a fork. They don't really care that much.
Chopsticks, man. Come on.
Or use your hands like Superman. You can do it. Eat it however you want. A fork does make it easier to dip it in your soy sauce, though.
I will tell you a fun story, quick fun story. My wife, Mrs. H, we went to see her family that live in Manchester, and they were saying, "Oh, we've got to go to a Vietnamese restaurant." And I'm like, "Okay, we'll go to a Vietnamese restaurant." Never been there before in my life. Never tried the food and anything. And they were banging on. One of my wife's cousins, is like pretentious to the max. So she's giving it all. "Oh, you've got to go for the authentic experience and yada yada." Oh, it's so and really laying on thick. We get there. And the only person who can eat their entire starter and main with chopsticks is this guy. They don't even bother. Woo! They sit there with the forks. I'm like, halfway through the meal, I was like, "Tell me again how forks are authentic." I'm quite lost. What? So I've got game.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go on.
I was gonna say, even my 8-year-old niece knows how to eat with chopsticks. It's not that hard, guys. It's really not. Practice.
So 13, did you read this book and then think, "Ooh, I'm quite hungry"?
I'm gonna see if you can humor me now, because I'm gonna literally just message you my review.
I can hear you. Oh, hold on then. You've messaged me it. Oh man, means I've got to turn off the Dolphins losing. Hang on 2 seconds.
The Dolphins.
Yeah. There you go. That's his review of the book. There you go. Enough said. Whilst we're talking about eyes, Freyja, I know you are a bit of an art phobe at times. Can you tell me what's going on with Superman's eyes on this panel that I've stopped at, please?
Let me see where he's looking at.
Right here, where there's actually no eyes at all.
It's meant to show.
Oh, that's. Go ahead.
It's not that the artist didn't want to draw them in. It's supposed to be like, he's like, oh God, what's going on? Kind of expression, or did I mess up? I'm forgetting the actual word to express the
I didn't know manifesting shades was one of Superman's powers.
So what it is it's a very common Japanese manga style. It's essentially he kind of goes stone faced with something, and so they're kind of it's like Easter, it's hard to explain. Like Matthew was talking about, it's very common. That's why I just went past it, because it's so common in manga. They do it all the time. I could probably look it up, but like, let me see if I can do this.
Now Batgirl has turned into Oracle, looking for some stuff on the computer there. Excellent.
I just want to know, how does this benefit society?
It doesn't, but I don't care. I don't know, but it's essentially it's a stone face. It's usually when you're like disgusted by something. Well, usually the disgusted one, their mouth is slightly it's different, but yeah, it's usually when you're like shocked. It's a shocked face.
As I'm the only one with a face today, I'm gonna try and. Hello, is that now? Okay, tried and failed. All right. Okay, so to say that Superman versus Meshi is an acquired taste is quite an apt description, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. If you like manga, you'll probably like it.
Really?
And silliness. Just don't expect anything deep from it, because it's just. Yeah.
So tell me again why you didn't like.
It could have been worse.
Indeed, it could. All right.
I didn't.
Not because that's just silly. Yeah. Okay, cool. Right. Okay.
Hey.
Back to gloom and doom. It's 13's choice. This is the Flash #1. Let me give you the rundown before I get into it. It's written by Cy Spurrier. Mike Deodato Jr. is on arts. I've got Tris Mulvey is on colors. Move Hill, sorry, is on colors. And then letters are by Hassan Otsman Alawal. I know I've said his name wrong, but hey, what can I say? Flash, this isn't the Barry Allen Flash. This is Wally West. It's about time the West got some love. 13th. Legacy character? Kind of legacy character? What's your take on this?
Well, I won't resubmit the picture I sent to you for the first review of today, so that's a start. One thing I noticed right away on the cover, very kind of nonchalantly, they stuck in that legacy numbering. So I don't have kind words for that, to be honest. If you want to call it 801, then call it 801. It's as simple as that. But here we are with, I guess, another chapter in the life of a Flash.
Well, this is, can I just interject just a second there?
Sure.
You're absolutely right to call them out on this, because this is a Wally West book, not a Barry Allen book.
Mm-hmm.
And the legacy numbering, as far as I'm aware, relates to, what, all the Flash comics?
I would say so.
Because there's a whole series that started at 1 that had Wally West in it back in the late 80s. So, that's like, that's crazy talk. That's like calling Spider-Gwen a Spider-Woman, so therefore we can count her numbers in the legacy counting for that book. Crazy. It's good spot.
Yeah, I mean, it's stark contrast with Mike Barron's Flash #1 run from the 80s versus this. But here we are, right?
Yeah.
And to me, when I see a #1, if that's what we're going to call it, I need to see something impactful. I need to see something that it's going to go somewhere. So I'm not going to totally knock the story. I had mixed feelings about seeing Wally West. For those on the panel, you know, when I grew up, I read some of Barry Allen, and then I read a lot of Wally West. I really liked Wally. And then we all know the event that put Wally West on the map as a Flash with the Crisis. So, yeah, I'm a firm believer that Wally West definitely, he can hold the mantle and whatever you want to look at it that way. I just think that the way he's been depicted in stories in years past has been hit or miss. You either have a really good storyline or something that's really forgettable. There's really nothing in between. So with this issue 1, just walking into this with no knowledge of what's happened before, I felt it was even a little bit more of the same with Rebirth, with Barry, a little bit of even Wally West involvement. And what I'm trying to say is the Speed Force. Everything surrounds the Speed Force. It comes up every single issue that I read of Flash in the last few years. So this is no different. A disturbance in the Speed Force. All right, you know, okay, you're taking a page out of the Jedi. You know, there's a disturbance in the Force. You know, so I felt like that was kind of unoriginal. Wally West being the fastest, probably in DC history, sure. You know, it's long been known that he could attain light speeds and whatever, but that's kind of revisited here. One thing that I saw that was different here was the inclusion of Mr. Terrific, kind of as somebody who's helping out Wally West. So I had mixed feelings about that as well, because I love Mr. Terrific in a team setting. I don't know how I like him in a buddy book with the Flash or any other character for that matter. So I just think that Mr. Terrific's talents are too big for just one, or being regulated to helping one hero. He's just too smart for that. But here we are. They're dealing with the Speed Force. Mr. Terrific's probably one of your best bets in trying to help out, figure out what's going on. And then, as I see with almost a lot of these #1 issues these days, the villain. It's got to be the premier #1 nemesis of a hero. No different here with Grodd. Do I like it? Sure.
Really?
But,
okay.
Sure, I like it, but I wish it could be somebody different. Like, so right off the bat, you're starting off with Grodd. We don't know the extent of his involvement, but it's Flash and Grodd. I mean, who else are you going to put in here other than maybe Zoom or somebody else from the Rogue Gallery? But we start off with Grodd. I have a lot of mixed feelings about the book. The script I felt was a roller coaster with as far as someone trying to comprehend. You go from something that's probably aimed at a younger audience to something that is definitely aimed at a much maturer audience. that has an extensive vocabulary. The art, Mike Deodato, fantastic artist, but I have mixed feelings on his art in here as well. I felt that when it came to drawing things from a distance, or the small art, things that are depicted small, I didn't think it worked too well. Some of the close-up stuff was fine, but it's weird kind of seeing his artwork after all this time.
Well,
again, my overall thing on this is I have a lot of mixed feelings on this book.
This art from Mike Deodato is totally different to the stuff you might recognize on Wonder Woman when he first hit DC.
Yeah,
this is reminiscent of his stuff that he's doing for AWA, the independent company. The same sort of panel layouts, the way the panels are structured across the page to give you that kind of kaleidoscope type effect. So this is his current trend, as opposed to the stuff from yesteryear. I'm with you on this. I'm a little bit mixed. Freyja, what was your take on the Flash? I can't remember. Are you a Flash fan?
Not really, no.
Oh, this is a good choice then. Well done.
Yeah, I know. Great choice. My eyes hurt from this book. Thank you so much, 13.
Hey, do you want me to show the picture of that dude washing his eyes out again?
I'd rather read 1,000 Meshy books than look at this one again.
All right.
Just how they splice up the panels.
True.
It really started irritating my eyes. I didn't like it. I mean, the cover pretty much says it all with the styling, you know. It's like looking through broken glass the whole time, and I don't like it.
Noted. Let me make a note of that.
Yeah, it's just I didn't like it, probably because it kind of ruined the flow, in my opinion, from one panel to the next. Because then they have like a million other little panels. It feels like everywhere, and I didn't like it. Story wise, I guess typical Flash. I guess you know, and I agree. I don't know why they have Mr. Terrific involved in this whole thing, but you know, whatever. Also, when did we redesign Grodd? Like, why does it look like Grodd has Starro stuck to his face? Like, I don't like the design. I don't like it. But can freaking Wally have like be happy for once? Like, why do they hate him so much? Like my condolences, Flash. I heard the news. You know, breakups suck. I'm like, what? Why? Poor Wally. Like, I feel bad. So, I think they should have picked a different character besides Grodd, honestly.
Okay, cool.
Like, maybe not Zoom, maybe not like Thrawn or Reverse Flash or anything like that, but maybe like anyone else.
I think if they were talking about broken glass and the way the panels are structured, it's got to say Mirror Master, right?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Maybe.
Grodd is wearing some bad VR tech, is what he's wearing.
I don't even know. I don't want to know. I don't know what he's watching.
Yeah.
Matthew, are you a Flash fan?
I'm like, everyone's quiet.
I am a Flash fan.
And what did you?
I am a Flash fan. I do enjoy the character. I really enjoy Wally West and his stories. But I think I'm going to bring us all into a unanimous decision here about the artwork. There's meaning that I agree with all of you on this. There are good moments where there are some really good panels, really good places, but the fact that it's separated behind so many panels, it ends up hurting my eyes after reading it for a while. The story with just the B plot with him at home taking care of the kids and his wife just dealing with being a new mother again. Well, I say new mother, having her third child. It's a really, really cool story and a really good point of view take on his family affairs rather than just him versus the bad guys. So I really like that they put some of his everyday life, such as getting the kids to school, talking with Linda. Even the point of view of Linda having the aside with her thoughts about what it was like, or what it's like now that she's experienced the Speed Force when she was pregnant with what's his name? Is it Wally Jr. or is it a different name for the baby?
Meshy.
Well, apparently she had been imbued with the Speed Force while she was pregnant with him.
Yep, in the
now that she's
60-second war, if you remember that bad boy, Freyja.
Yeah, vaguely.
but now that she's given birth and she's back to normal, everything's slowed down and stopped. And so it's her trying to deal with that, as well as being, the mother of this family and married to a superhero. So it was a really cool little aside to them. And the last panel showing this avatar of this, what I'm assuming the Speed Force is, being this horrible alien monstrosity from the outer realms, and the line going, when you get right down to it, all I've really got to go on is a last fading echo of faith. The Speed Force is a force for good, and it's just that repeating as it fades into the back. So I'm actually interested into seeing how this story progresses. Hopefully the art kind of lessens within the next issue, so that way it's not such a pain to read for me.
I guarantee you right now, the panel structure of this book is going to be consistent until Deodato leaves the book. I'll tell you that now. Every book he's done for AWA has had this format on. So if you don't like the format, you have to get used to it. Sorry.
The Speed Force is the force for good. The Speed Force.
Here's my question. Here's my question about the book. And 13th, you're right. Everyone's right about this. I like Mike Deodato. I think his stuff on AWA is outstanding. Outstanding. I'm not sure it works so much here. Tries to be a bit clever clogs, I think, in the fact that each panel structure is supposed to be a breakup. And yet, look here. Mr. Terrific is so terrific, his arms transcend the panel lines.
Mm-hmm.
And yet nowhere else does that happen. See how they're broken up on every panel? Even when they're in the same same panel. Feet don't get moved. Nothing happens. So I don't like that. The other thing I would say about this is, and this is a personal choice, I don't like how this panel here, that could be Barry, it could be Wally, you don't know unless you read the book. There's nothing to differentiate this Flash costume from the original Flash costume. At least when Dick was Batman and Bruce was Batman at the same time, they were wearing different bat suits and you could tell who was who.
Yeah.
This is just, it could be anyone to see the Barry or Wally in it. So, and it's frustrating.
I actually thought it was Barry at first.
Yeah, me too. And it's just really, really disappointing that a #1 book kind of treads the same path of not just the Speed Force generally, but of the TV show itself. The TV show has been talking about the Speed Force for so long now that it's now become like an extra character. It should have some form of, special guest starring the Speed Force on there.
Yeah,
we get it at the end of the issue.
They've turned it into this sort of interdimensional thing, or some sort of a beyond that's not understood yet, rather than some sort of force of physics. And it's uncharted territory, and that's what's throwing me off with the Flash. It's like, how many more times can you mine the Speed Force, right? And then not only that, they've also added so many different speedsters in general. You even see that in this issue. So that kind of throws you off. Like, how many people can be imbued with the powers of the Speed Force? It's hard to keep track of.
I like the fact that Max Mercury has to say the formula in his head to get to the Speed Force. He doesn't do that in this issue. Where was the fact that it's chemicals and lightning that gave him his speed? Did that just open the door to the Speed Force? I don't know what. I've lost track now.
Magic.
Magic. And for that, I don't really mind. I'd say the Flash, I can take him or leave him, to be honest.
Bottom line, Johnny, with this issue, I'm not sure I want to come back for issue 2.
All right, fair enough. Fair good shout. Good shout. Cool. I don't know if we will either, but we will find out. All right, time for an advert for one of our other shows. Where shall we go? Well, where should we go? I don't know where to go. Where should we
I don't know. I feel like dancing today, Johnny.
You feel like dancing?
I feel like dancing.
Feel that?
Gotta dance off the sushi.
Yeah, heck yeah. I'll dance to sushi.
Dance off to save the universe.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Check it out. It's a K-pop. There you have it. K-pop Cosmos. It's had a month off. It is due back this month.
Yeah.
With Freyja.
Yep. Yeah. And we're coming back with we're gonna be talking about one of the most popular female singers in Korea right now. So look forward to that.
And her name is?
Oh, I wanted to keep that a secret, but yeah, it's
Ooh. All right, there you go. If you think you're a fan of the most popular person, female singer in K-pop, check out the show. Right, next up, it's Matthew's choice. This is Batman Beyond Neo Gothic #3, written by the British team, I believe, of Colin Kelly and Jackson Lansing. Max Dunbar's on art, Sebastian Cheng is on colours, and Hassan Otsman Elawal is getting double pay for his lettered another book. Way, there you go. Cover has it. The Court of Owls exists in the Shui County. Matthew, what was this? You enjoy this book?
I actually did enjoy this book. I actually, right after reading it, I went back to see if it was released last week as well, so that way I could try to read issue #2 to try to catch up on what's going on, and I'll have to do that online later, try to find the other issues. Because I'm curious as to why Terry and Kyle have to go into the Court of Owls, and who this person is. They announced his name earlier, Lumos. Trying to figure out who Lumos is and why he's taking over Gotham, and what is within the court that may somehow, help them find an answer to why Lumos is taking over Gotham and why there's a lot of questions being asked that are actually interesting me, and I want to go try to read through and figure out the answers with Terry and Kyle. I like the story. Second thing, I really like the artwork on this one. I think this one probably has some of the best artwork out of the issues that we are discussing today. I just big fan of it. Absolutely big fan of it. The Court of the Owls have been taken over by this fungal infection that is spreading. This garden that is growing and is using the Court of Owls. It's super cool, really well designed. The Court of Owls having its own Batman that they plan on unleashing on Gotham to help further their goals, and that's just such a cool design. If you think it's weird to think Mushroom Batman. It's kind of a funny thought. He's
Batman. He's a fun guy.
Well, I was about to say Batman isn't really a fun guy. You beat me to my joke. You beat me to my joke, Johnny.
Sorry, man.
Just the sushi.
Yeah.
Bring back the sushi, please.
Sorry, I apologize. Say it now. People want to listen to me. They'll listen to you. Say it again.
But it's really, really cool fight scenes between this bat fungus and Terry and Kyle. And Kyle is using magic, and all the while Terry knows that Kyle is keeping a secret from him, and eventually asks, "Where did you learn magic?" And then we get shown that this person is like a predecessor of John Constantine, and we're hinted at Constantine possibly laying groundwork for some kind of trick, because everything's a trick to Constantine. It says so in here. Kyle says it. It's interesting. There's all these little different plot hooks and hints at the stories that have actually done a good job on drawing me into the story. And at the end of the issue, we see that in order to defeat this bat fungus, or at the very least get away from it, they blew up this room and they are descending further into this labyrinth. That they are embracing the dark. All of this forgotten pain left down here to fester, and the deeper I get, the worse the sickness becomes. Beam, trust me, I don't want to choose the dark, but I'm the only one who can. And if that's not a Batman line, what is? Yeah. Being the only one that can embrace the darkness for good, to take on Lumos and his evil light that he's using to take over Gotham. It's a really cool issue, and I'm definitely going to have to go back and read the others, so that way I can catch up on them.
Good shout. Matthew, you know why Fungus Batman has to leave the sewers, don't you?
No, actually.
Because down there's not much room.
Well, guys, I'm glad to have been on the podcast. We'll see you all.
Oh, wait, that was all right. 13th. Do you remember the Court of Owls? Were you still reading new books with the Court of Owls?
Kind of, sort of. I'm familiar with the Court of Owls, but in relation to this book, it's one thing that it reminded me of was Legion of Superheroes, believe it or not. Anything that happened in current time later gets translated into a book that's about the future. So sometimes I wish that they could come up with something in a future story that when you go to something in the current timeline, it's new for them. It's usually the other way around. So Court of Owls happened for Bruce Wayne. I kind of wish it happened to Terry first. Like, look, this is a legend of the Court of Owls. And then Bruce will be like, what are you talking about? Oh, wait a minute. I remember, visiting the future, whatever. But that's just me. I think the panel layout is what threw me off at the beginning of the book. I'm not saying that it's a bad thing. I just think that it's different. And I actually kind of liked it. This is my first time digging into this title. So it was an interesting beginning. And then the double splash pages where I like them, especially the scene when they're entering the actual Court of Owls. I thought that was very well done with the placement, the darkness. Like it really gave you that sense of an adventure. You're on this adventure with Terry McGinnis from the beginning to the end. And I felt that was a good thing, because if you're stepping into a book for the first time, how are you gonna get drawn into this book? You need something that kind of reels you in. And I felt like I was on this adventure with Terry, and that was good. So yeah, we've heard of the Court of Owls, but what's Terry's knowledge on the Court of Owls? What has become of the Court of Owls? So now they're coming into what they perceive as ancient history. You know what I mean? So I kind of like that. And then you have this bat creature that was definitely a surprise. There's like a Batman for everything now. So, but never seen this one before. So add with this one to the list. I like the darkness surrounding the book. I like the adventure. The John Constantine panel, it figures. It was my reaction to it. A surprise, but then, to kind of explain the magic, it's to like what the knight said, it's interesting angle. But overall, an okay book. I would read the next issue, I do want to catch up on what's happened before. I've never had a problem with Terry McGinnis as Batman. I just think as time goes on, he becomes more and more like Bruce. So I just a challenge to the writers. They're two different people. You know, the Terry McGinnis that I grew up watching on in the cartoon definitely had his separate personality from Bruce. I don't see that as much in the books anymore. That's pretty much my thoughts on this.
Okay, cool. This panel, this page here, with this hand holding out the cigarette. As soon as I saw that, I was like, "Yeah, it's going to be John Constantine." Up to that point, I didn't know. Freya?
I was going to say, it was the exact same for me. The moment I saw the cigarette, I'm like, old Constantine.
He looks great, though, doesn't he?
Yeah, I mean, for fighting
Same
hell
jacket.
for so long. Yeah.
Same
jacket, everything.
Well, once you find your
Look.
fit, you kind of keep buying some stuff, man.
Once you find that right outfit, you don't want to change.
Hey, Johnny,
Yeah,
did you think about this? Because if he was dating Zatanna at some point, will we see old woman Zatanna?
Ooh, woo. Support fishnets. Freya, what do you... wearing those fishnets. What do you think of this book?
So I actually quite liked it. I like the art style as well, except for Terry's face. So I'm used to watching the Batman Beyond TV series, and I don't remember him having like a visible mouth in that. And I think they should. Does he?
Yep.
I don't remember.
Yeah, he doesn't have a nose, but he has a mouth.
Sure does.
Yeah.
Does he? Because I don't remember the mouth. Maybe it's because so he does. Maybe it's just the nose that's throwing me off. Yeah. So I did like the story. I like Kyle. He's what do they call it? Spliced. Where they splice the DNA with the animal DNA, and I like the spores. I like the use of the green. I like Court of Owls and what they're doing with that. Don't understand why Terry is falling, considering I remember his suit has the ability to fly. But okay. I like the use of the purple when Kyle starts using his barrier magic. It's really nice. I just like the use of the colors throughout this. It really pops because the mass majority of the colors like black and white. And yeah, it's very interesting. Also, why don't we have a Batman Beyond movie? Like, I really want to know, DC. Why don't we? Well,
like, to be fair, here's a bit of a thing for you. I was in town yesterday, and I was in HMV, which is like do you have HMV? It's like a music video store.
No.
Sorry, I don't know if you guys have what I have. I'm sorry.
No, we don't. Not where I am.
All right, so and I'm looking through the superhero DVDs. I'm looking for the Batman collection when it comes to the UK, the Reno Romano one, and the Flash movie came out on DVD on Blu-ray, and I was like, oh. So later in the day, I went to the supermarket to get some bits and bobs. I thought I'll just pick it up and whatever. It's not even in the top 20 of released DVDs. That's why there's not a Batman Beyond movie. The Flash with shed loads of Batman in it can't get traction. What's the chances of getting a Batman Beyond, which is the Batman that you don't even know, getting any traction? And
well, as long as it's properly cast.
Well, it has
Ezra Miller out of it.
Keep Ezra Miller and the creepy ass face out of it. Then you
say that, but somewhere along the line, people thought Val Kilmer was a good shout. Some people thought George Clooney was a good shout. Well, but so I hear what you're saying. Good casting comes with hindsight.
But you also got to remember that was a Flash movie. This one's going to have Batman in the title. People will go see it just because it has Batman in the title.
Fear not, I'm waiting to get older so I could play old man Bruce. It's gonna be a while.
Hey, and look, DC, if you need an actor for Terry, I'm just saying, I can dye my hair black. It's fine. I'll work with you.
And here's the thing. It has the cyberpunk vibes, which has been in for a while, and it's Batman, so people will go for those two things, and then you could also please the furry people by having the characters like Kyle in it.
All right, so back to the
book. Cat girls, you know, just have them, you know, walking around in skimpy outfits, and people would definitely go, man. Like it has everything.
I do have a question that I'm wondering if anybody can answer. Is the lady at the computer, is that Dana?
It might well be. I read the first issue. I'm not sure who. I'm not. I missed the second.
It threw me off because of the art and because she looks so much more mature than Dana, especially with the stare. Not the Dana I'm used to, but it's strikingly familiar.
We'd have to go back and check on that one. I have one question before I move on to the next book. You see the bat-shaped emblem there in the catacomb, so that you can jump down, which is all nice and well and good. You can see that it's a bat sign. You can see that it shades, the light shines through as a bat sign, and yet when he lands, it's not a bat sign. And also, how does the cat get down? Because he's there right then. You don't see him in that panel, and then the next page, he's like, "There's a rope." He's there.
He jumped down. He's a cat.
He's a cat. He jumped. I see the rope there now. Sorry, I didn't see it the first time.
I can't explain the light, but I can tell you there's a rope.
Yeah, right. I didn't mind this for what it was. I kind of am of the reverse opinion of 13th. I love the art, don't get me wrong. I love the dialogue. I thought it was canny. I am sick of Batman Beyond going back and using Batman villains. For me, I thought Batman Beyond works better when it created its own villains like Shriek and Ink. And characters like that. I don't need the Jokers to make a Batman Beyond. And I definitely don't need the Court of Owls. So that for me is kind of the only disappointment in this book. I think if you're putting all this effort in creating like a Neo Gotham, then you know what? I pretty much think the bad guys will be, you know, there'll be different bad guys. And I think, you know, as the show shows, you can have some really good new bad guys, you know, all the way through. Other than that, I thought for what it is with the court, I'm confused why the Court of Owls would have a Batman protector when owls are the natural enemy of bats, not the other way around. There's no logic to that other than colors are great, lots of green, sorry. I thought, yeah, I'd be intrigued to see how this goes. At one point, this was on my pull list, but the comic shop missed I think the second issue. I just never corrected them. So there you go. That's on me, I suppose. But
I guess it's in the Beyond now.
Yeah, it is. Killing me, man. That's almost as bad as my mushroom joke.
Almost. Almost.
All right, time for one more book then before we call it a day. So last up is my choice. I was torn on this. I'm not gonna lie. There were two books that I wanted to talk about. One book which I thought was fabulous. It was the new Wonder Woman book, setting up the scene for the Amazons being kicked out of the US of A. I thought that was a really good read. If you get a chance to look at that, do so. I thought it was really an interesting take on trying to change up Wonder Woman a little bit. Don't know if anybody else read that.
I looked at it.
The picture I sent you before, I'll use it again.
Really?
You and me both, 13. You and me both.
Really?
Yeah.
I have not read it, but I may give it a look.
Okay.
I tore the book apart. When I did read it, I tore it apart. And I did not like it at all.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so heads up, this is my choice. It was Power Girl #1 by Lee Williams. Lee Williams on writing, art by Eduardo Pasanica, inks by Julio Ferreira, Romulo Fajardo Jr. is on colors, and Becca Carey is on letters. I'm going to say this right now, and I'm going to be blunt, and I'm going to be obvious about it. There is absolutely nothing wrong with this book. I didn't buy this cover. I bought the variant cover, which is a little bit more anime and a little more she's like flying. Nothing wrong with Gary Frank. I will say this before we go any further. I'm interested in the Time of the Ripper book. That looks great. I'm interested in that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Still hate the blue, but she looks good.
It's a good thing there's no ST in front of the Ripper.
So
we're talking about a good thing. That'd be the bestseller right there.
Exactly.
So, this book tries hard to be fun, and it is in lots of places. It's a Paige now, not Kara, who is, or Karen in this case. She feels more at ease with herself. She's now part of the Superman family. She's kind of been brought into the fold, as it were. Still makes mistakes. So that kind of screams a little bit, I don't know, spoiler-esque maybe. I don't know. But the art works. It's not as serious as you think it is, which allows for some of the comedy elements to come into it. Then, of course, your power girls up, and things take a little bit of a turn. This character's been around for years in different formats. 13th might be able to help me on that. But overall, I thought it was a decent little book. I thought it was a good introduction to who Power Girl is as of now, as opposed to Wally West's introduction, which seemed to go in a different direction. A threat that is genuine to her. Someone who can handle Kryptonians. And on top of that, she's now got a mission going forward. There's ramifications with Atlantean people in there. I don't think there's anything wrong with this book. This is a great start to a new Power Girl series for a character that's already convoluted to hell. I think they've tried to bare bones it. I don't think it works. Freyja, what was your take on this one?
I like how Streaky's there. Super Cat. I'm happy to see him. Why did she? I just.
What?
So I like the villain. He's pretty awesome. I liked him better in the suit, though. To be perfectly honest, I think he looked pretty sweet in the suit. Then he changed to the purple green combo, and I went, no, I don't know about that. But and this is just me nitpicking. Her little transformation thing. I'm like, where the hell did she pull that outfit from?
Thank you. That was my biggest issue. Oh my! I was going to bring it up.
And why is she burning that sweet ass dress? What the
beautiful dress? It probably cost a lot of money.
What the hell are you doing, Paige? Just take the dress off. You don't gotta burn it like a bitch. Just who paid for that thing?
Put it where you kept your suit.
yeah, it's she has a zero space pocket. She pulled it out her ass. Where did this suit, the super suit, come from? And the boots, and or she just stripped in front of everyone on the deck and went, "Oh, give me a second, gotta put on my leotard."
And it's obvious that she wasn't wearing it under the dress because you can clearly see in other panels her leg is showing with the high heels, and there's nothing on under the dress. So where did the outfit come from?
Yeah, she's wearing a halter dress with a high slit and wearing heels and no gloves. And do you want me to believe that all of a sudden
Orban had it. Orban had it. A partner in crime had it. That's what she was there for. She's there for backup.
Sure. Okay. Whatever. But once she burned the dress. Just burning the dress, such a waste. I was upset by that. Also, his thing makes sense, the villain, because it shows them transform out of their little, disguises. So I'm like, cool. If she had something like that, I'd be fine with it. But whatever. Or she could have just bought in the dress. It's not like the dress suppressed her superpowers. Just bite in the damn dress. Take the heels off. Kick ass in the dress, and we're done. You don't need to be in your super suit.
That's the point. She's trying to create a secret identity for herself. If she fought in the suit,
but she changed on the deck of the ship.
No, she's disappeared. Look. From that panel,
she's in the deck of the ship.
He's talking to her, and then it's oh, where'd she go? It's the classic. She's moved away so she can get changed. It's fine.
Whatever.
maybe she found a phone booth somewhere on the ship.
Somewhere on the boat. Yeah, I don't know. I like the villain though. And then Superman not knowing science is still funny to me. But yeah, he continues to not understand science. But okay, because like if the best place for her to take the explosive was the Mariana Trench, because if you blow up, like you can nuke the Mariana Trench and nothing would happen. There's so much pressure that there would be no explosion. It would just like force it to be bubbles rising to the top. Like nothing would happen.
Aquaman in his realm.
Nothing would happen. It wouldn't damage anything.
If Aquaman's eating sushi, does he really care about the fish?
Fish eat other fish. Don't even.
All right.
Have you seen? They will eat each other. That's how they survive. But like, yeah, and he's like, the Atlanteans, blah, blah. I'm like, first of all, there were Atlanteans on the ship who saw the situation happen. Why would they blame Kara for I'm going to call her Kara. Who would blame Kara for that? Like,
because they are fishy people. I mean, come on.
They're fishy people. But like, it didn't make any sense. And I thought they were trying to rush home to get to Streaky because he's bitchy when they don't feed him, but they took the time to get donuts in their super suits again.
There were donuts on the ship. They just grabbed them off the ship.
With that high doubt it. With that high class hoity-toityness, there's no fucking donuts.
Oh my god!
So I'm nitpicking this because you liked it, Johnny.
Yeah, I'm getting that. Don't worry, I've recognized this.
So yeah, it's a good story. Superman doesn't understand science. Apparently, Atlantis still wants to kill everyone. Even though Aquaman should be the one in charge, telling everyone to calm the hell down. But like, no, it's just stop. Just. But I did like Streaky. Can we bring the horse back?
All right, I'll kind of lessen things here. I'm of the opinion with Johnny. Other than the outfit change, I didn't see anything wrong with this book. I really, really enjoyed it. The artwork is fantastic. Page in the dress. I may have stopped on a page for a little bit longer than needed, because it's a very nice dress. Very nice dress. Boob window, high slip. Very nice. And then she burned it, and I was kind of upset because those things are probably expensive.
They are expensive, trust me.
But yeah, with the appearance of Amalak, who I don't know much information about, but I do recognize the name. So him as a recurring villain in this, making an appearance. It's really cool. Her power punching through, thanks to a little green rain, I can punch open portals, which I don't remember that, but sure, why not? I'll accept it.
It happened in the Lazarus Planet thing, and it was in her mini series that came out about 3 months ago, like a one shot that came out. Gotcha.
Okay, yeah, new information. But with this threat looming over her that's apparently focused on her, apparently it's a virus that can affect humanity, and it's from Krypton, but from her Krypton. I think that's a really cool little detail, that it's something focused only on her rather than the rest of the super family. I really like this issue, and kind of like with the last one, I'm interested in picking this one up as well.
Sweet.
Yeah. Sorry.
Go on.
I was gonna say, just so you know, Matthew, and for all of you guys who don't understand, so she was at a hoity-toity thing. She can't get a cheap dress, and a sequined halter, high slit, long dress like that is about $300 to $400.
Yeah. Yeah, that hurts. One last thing.
You didn't pay for it, dude. Don't worry. Don't stress.
One last thing before I switch it over to 13. More than this book, you mentioned the thing about a different book before we started this one. I'm going to mention the book in the back of this one that I'm really excited about.
Oh, no.
Yeah. It is Justice League versus Godzilla and Kong. And just from this panel right here, with Godzilla breaking out of the ocean with his powerful, looming over the city. It's mwah, 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 chef's kiss.
His tail,
his
tail looks bigger than his. He does.
It's
Jesus
perfect.
Christ.
Well, yeah, it has to be a long tail. It has to balance them out. That's the whole purpose of a tail. Is kind of like
Want it to be a stub?
Yeah. It's sorry. I saw this and just got so ecstatic about this because
it sounds like you're more excited about that than the dress.
I am.
Oh my
it's
God.
Godzilla.
Godzilla. I hope
All right. And with that, I'll mute myself. Anyway.
Thank you. 13th, round us off.
I agree with you on a lot of points. For a Power Girl #1 issue, I think it's probably one of the better Power Girl #1 issues I've ever read. I think the plot in here is actually pretty strong. Although I think the setup to what the real point is took a little long to get there. So either way, it establishes her another identity for her. It puts her back on the map. It gives you an explanation. So if this is your very first time reading this book, you are getting some background on her. The name will be new for older readers in Page. I don't have an issue with any of those things. I do like that they are tying things out to or connecting the dots to Earth 2. Still, that's a nice touch. You know, I'm a sucker for anything Earth 2. The little jacket that she's wearing, or whatever, that the remnants of her dress, or whatever you want to call that, Connor can't rip all the way. And then the same with Superboy primed her, according to what you're telling me, that she can punch into wherever the hell she wants to go or throw things into. Astral punching, whatever. So that's new. Superman in here, of course, kind of reestablishes that she's part of the Superman group. I'm okay with that, but I just think it kind of went a little bit too much of a scenic route for me to get to the point. I think the part where they're talking about a virus, or that he wants her to look into, actually is a pretty good idea. It is definitely different. So that's where the appeal is, to come back for another issue. But art-wise, it's solid. I'm not going to say it's the best I've ever seen, but definitely a strong #1 issue for a Power Girl book.
Cool. Excellent. There you go. Go on. Just hit some more.
No, I was looking at the back page, like the end of the book that we have on digital. No, like the very, very, very last page. And I'm confused why we have a Common Rider, Pink Ranger, Hail Hydra going on back here when this is a DC book. Or am I the only one who has this?
That's a technical issue.
Oh, okay. Because I'm like, what the hell is this doing here?
Yeah, I saw it and was like, I'm not going to pay attention to this.
Yeah, that's a technical issue. All right, there you go. 4 up, 4 down. Across the spectrum, to be fair, lots of different things going on there. A couple of fun books, a couple of horror-y type things. It is the month. It is the month for horror. So
yeah.
Jeez, what a way to start it off.
I don't know. Tell me about it. Can I ask for Supergirl costume for Christmas, please, Freyja?
Supergirl for Christmas? No, I could probably do that next year, though.
All right, there you go. Hey,
Freyja will rip it.
I could have said Satana.
She's in a burn.
All right.
If Power Girl burned that dress, what will Streaky do the next issue? What will the cat rip?
I don't know. I want to see a fight between Streaky and Dexter. That's what I want.
Dexter! I love
my God.
It'll definitely be a catastrophe for sure.
Yeah.
And to round today's episode,
I'm sure one of them won't be feline fine afterwards.
Definitely a different category.
I will pause for laughter. Right, we can do
now I'm
this
catatonic. Thanks.
Yeah.
this is just perfect.
Oh, you had to go there. Sorry, Selena. All right. All right. There you go. 4 down. Thanks, guys. Freyja, fantastic. Love the outfit.
Thank you.
Pleasure as always.
Yeah. Glad to be here.
Cool. 13. Thanks you for joining. Don't forget to check out the UC. Anytime. Don't forget to check out the UCPM for all your favorite shows, including the return of
K-pop Cosmos. Woo!
Yo, yeah. And 13th.
Yeah. Just mess with you, Johnny. The Old Timers Comic Book Show, where some of the hosts are old and so are the books.
Oh. Well, the hosts aren't old, but the comics most.
Don't worry, I'll get it right.
I tell you that, Alzheimer's setting in early, my friend. Setting in early. If you want to check out Night, there are several Discords and areas you can find Matthew. Where can we find you?
You can find me on TikTok, Twitch, and YouTube over at the Late Night channel. That is Night with a K. So make sure you check that out. You'll find a lot of my Twitch VODs on my YouTube channel. I make D&D content on my TikTok, and we'll be introducing that to my YouTube soon. So it's exciting stuff. Cool.
If you want to watch somebody roll a 20 die, that's the show for you.
I'm your guy.
Do you have a 13-sided one? Because I need to borrow one.
I'll make one for you.
What a pal.
What a pal. All right. There you go. Thanks, guys. I've been your host, Johnny Machine Hughes. And as always, adios.
Bye, guys.